So we often hear the question, should we do an e-com store for our fireworks store, for our fireworks stand? And so let me break up that question in a few different ways. So there's kind of the e-com store versus a traditional website, e-com store or a traditional website, or e-com store and traditional website. And so what I would say is do an e-com store and a traditional website if you want to do both, because one doesn't replace the other. And it's important to remember how most people are still going to interact with you and find your stand. And that's going to happen on Google. So most people still like to physically go to a store when they're picking out fireworks. They like to physically go to the stand. They like to physically go to your brick and mortar, look around, get a feel for things, and buy things there. And so that is primarily how they're going to find you. When you're building a traditional website, you can do things with SEO, which means search engine optimization, that are a little bit different than you would do with an e-com store. And so what I would like to encourage you to do is to focus on making it a priority to have a traditional website first, because that's how most people are going to find you. And then once that is set up, then do an e-com store after that. So this is definitely one of those things where instead of an either or, it's a both and if you're going to do it. And remember, just because e-com stores are new and exciting, especially in the fireworks space, doesn't mean that you need to get rid of all the traditional things that you know need to happen. A couple other things to keep in mind is that setting up an e-com store can be very difficult if you don't already have a set of products made or a set of listings made for those things, product images, content, videos. It can take up an enormous amount of time. And the only reason I know that is because I've done it a few times. And so let's remember that if you have to pick, just do a traditional website. If you're going to do both, just remember that most of your traffic, most of your sales are going to come from those in-person sales, not from people buying online or doing curbside pickup. Does it have value? Yes. Do some people want to peruse and buy things from your website and do a curbside pickup? Yes, absolutely. But I would just say, don't put all of your eggs into the e-com basket and forsake the other part of it. Is there SEO value in having an e-com store set up? Yes, if you do it correctly. So you can have product titles with your keywords in meta descriptions for all of those things. And so that can really add up. But again, it's not an either or, it's a both and. So step one is if you've never gotten into this before, let's say you're new to even having an online presence at all for your fireworks stand, whether you're open all year long or just a few days, a few weeks, a year, start with a traditional website first. So that way you can start building the domain authority and everything that Google wants to help you show up as the primary thing. And then next, if you want to have an e-com store, I would put that on a subdomain. And so that would be like, if your fireworks is at myfireworksstore.com, your e-com store would be at something like shop.myfireworksstore.com. And so that's going to ensure that you get the best of both without forsaking one for the other. So I hope that helps.